Hi, my name is David Cabassett. I'm the practice manager of South Shore Orthopedics. Today is January 6, 2023. And I thought I'd put together this quick video to help out as we've recently posted a position for a billing office manager. We've had a number of applicants that I know are going to have probably a lot of the same questions in terms of what we're looking for and how to apply or how to take the next step. So I thought I'd put this video together. This can actually go along with another video I also recorded called Intro to South Shore Orthopedics that gives a little bit of an overview of our organization. But this video in particular is just meant to be a brief overview to understand kind of what it is that I'm looking for in hiring for this next role. So here goes. Like I said, I'm David Cabassett. I'm the practice manager. I've been here for just about 7 years now. And it's a large organization that's serves patients in the South Shore community. We're a very busy practice. We have 25 providers and about 100 staff, so about 125 people total that work for the organization. From a billing perspective, we have a hybrid billing department. And so we have about 7 people that work on site. And then we have a relationship with a company called COA, formerly known as PRL, that we work together to take care of our revenue cycle. Mary Parks is also our compliance officer. She's been with the organization a long time and works with our billing team as well to ensure compliance and other things. Internally within billing, we have a few people that work on workers' comp internally. We have a few people that work with referrals and eligibility for our patients ahead of time. We do prior authorizations within billing. And then we have our team that answers billing questions, processes the payments that are coming in, and is a liaison with COA, who helps us externally with things like processing our sending out our bills, is our call center for questions that patients have, sending out our invoices. We also work with a couple other vendors. Health iPass is one, and they help us with our patient collection efforts, our patient responsibility collection efforts. So we do put a card, have our patients put card on files if they have commercial insurances that will require their some of their responsibility through co-pays or deductibles. And so Health iPass also helps us with like our check-in process, our invoicing, our past balances due, our collection efforts, things like that. We work in an electronic medical record called EMDs. It's a practice management system and electronic medical record we've had for probably, 10, 12, 15 years, something like that. So quite a long time. And we've done quite a bit of it from a reporting standpoint and connecting different vendors so that it can help us with all aspects of the care we provide here at 2 Pond Park Road and down at Compass in East Bridgewater. And certainly plays a big part in our revenue cycle management there. A little bit of a history on where we're at this point and why the position's open. We've grown a pretty significant amount in the past few years. I've taken the past year to do kind of double duty and be the practice manager along as the acting billing manager when our last one turned over. And so that allowed me to work with the team a little bit more and better understand kind of what our true needs are. And I'm very fortunate to have a team of, like I said, 6 or 7 individuals, many of whom have been with us for a significant period of time, and they're very independent. I got the ability to learn quite a bit also about not only billing processes, but things with credentialing as we've added on new providers, and but also work with them to try and enhance some workflows, help them be a little bit more efficient, support them through technology and things like that. So, the last year has gone really well, but it's time for me to kind of find the next person to help our organization take us to the next level. So in particular, I think, what I'm looking for is an individual that really has a strong sense of medicine and medical billing, that understand all the different components through things like payer contracting, how to work with insurances, how to motivate and support the team that we do have in place. I do not think that they need a lot of oversight, but I do think, somebody to check in and help support them a little bit better at this point in terms of how we can take our practice and our revenue cycle to the next level. We've done a lot of work this year working with a vendor who's given us even more access and flexibility to pull reports and get data on our AR, and really be able to kind of like dig down into insurance AR, worker comp AR, give our partner COA some more data to help them with the work that they do for us in terms of when it comes to coding and fighting appeals and things like that. And I think really what we need right now is somebody that's tenured from a billing office perspective that is really proficient in analyzing patient data, picking up on trends, being that main liaison with our external provider COA, working in conjunction with them to make sure we have best practices in place to really work our AR. It hasn't been easy to not only grow, but at the same time face the pressures, outside pressures of things like COVID, but also Medicare reimbursement cuts and some of the other challenges we have in terms of prior authorizations and just No Surprises Act. And all the other regulations that go around, from a billing perspective. So, I'm looking for an individual that understands all of those kind of ins and outs, that has experience, that can demonstrate that they have the ability to, work with our management team, who many of the members of our management team have probably been around for, minimum 4 or 5 years, but, on average 6, 7, 8 years on our team. We do really well. But there's certainly, little areas that can take us from, maybe not good to great, but maybe like great to awesome. And so I think we have a very supportive team. Again, I can't tell you how busy this place is. We see about 300 to 350 patients a day. We've added some new service lines like occupational therapy recently, EMGs, added new providers with foot and ankle, and another hand provider recently. And so, looking at all those things, doing inpatient and outpatient surgeries, working with the insurance providers to make sure, we're getting paid correctly, double checking and seeing if there's any tweaks that we can make to our existing, medical record or other service vendors similar to like a TriZetto, who we use for things like eligibility and processing, but also things like making sure we're maximizing our reimbursement through Payment Reimbursement Manager. Looking at ways we can, kind of move forward and do even more with patient estimates, especially around surgery. And so it's really understanding all of those aspects of healthcare and how the finances play into that. We use scribes here. And so our scribes work with our physicians and do a lot of their documentation. And, through their training and through Mary Parks and compliance, they get a lot of training and education around coding. And so, a combination of the scribes doing the coding with our physicians and our PAs, but then also working with COA, who also does some of the surgical coding for us. We do a lot of documentation audits, and we really want to make sure that we are maximizing our reimbursement in a compliant way to make sure that we're getting credit paid for and taking credit for all the hard work that we do, so we can continue to grow as an organization and really succeed, I guess, moving forward. So we have our challenges in front of us. Again, I think that hopefully this gives you a decent idea of what I'm looking for. So a couple things. I posted this position. Today's January 6th. I posted it earlier this week, so I want to say on January 3rd or so. I've had a lot of resumes with varying degrees of expertise and experience. I'm trying to figure out a way how to, narrow that down a little bit and get some feedback back. And so, really, if you're interested in kind of taking the next step with us, the most I can do right now is and look at a resume and guess if what's on there, which might work out best. But I'd be I plan on sending this video as a link back to candidates that I think might be good fits, and I'm hoping that they will put together something, whether it's a video such as this, or a cover letter, or bullet points, or leave me a long voicemail or something like that that can help me to better understand who you are, what your experience is, what you bring to the table, why you're interested in this role, why you're looking to leave your current role, things like that. And so that I can help get the best candidates for our organization or our team, but also do it in an efficient way where I know that people are serious and qualified, so that I'm not wasting your time as well. So hopefully this gives you a good overview of that. My email address is dcabasa, D as in David, Cabasa, Kobasa, at southshoreorthopedics.com. You can find out more about us on www.southshoreorthopedics.com. Our main number here is 781-337-5555, and my direct line is 781-374-5993. Another part of our process is we use a tool called the Predictive Index tool. And so this is used by many companies, and it's a two components. And so if you've read the job description that we have posted on Indeed, there's a big section there that Predictive Index help us put together for the job description and the behavioral profile that sort of matches up best with what we're looking for. And so what I'll do is I will send you a link that'll have two sections to it. One is a behavioral assessment. This takes about 3 to 4 minutes, and you just answer some questions. It's really easy, and it spits you back a report that you'll get immediately after completing it, and it tells you a little bit about yourself, and it helps us to really match up, what type of behavioral profile you have, and if it matches up with the ones that Predictive Index has helped us to determine will be best fits for what we're looking to do. The second component takes a little bit longer. It's about 15, 18 minutes or so. It is a timed exercise. It's called a cognitive assessment. This is also a part of our hiring process for our upper level leadership. And there's for this, you do not want to be distracted. There's a couple questions that are like a pre-test that I would suggest that you take if you'd like to maximize your score. And they give you an idea of what it's like. It's a timed assessment. And the results of this we get back, and it really helps us understand sort of what the capacity for learning is for our management staff, and more to the point, how kind of quickly they learn and adapt and things like that, so that we can make sure, in a role like this that is very high responsibility, a lot of data, a lot of things coming at you, huge ability to not necessarily multitask, but be distractible at times, but also be able to focus, read data, basically comprehend quite a bit of information. This cognitive assessment helps us determine, if it's a good fit as well. So again, if you're serious about the role, those are two things that we require. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Again, I'm sorry if I took a little bit longer, but like I said, we have a lot of people that have applied, and a bunch of people that I think are qualified candidates on the surface. But it might be a little bit of work up front for the candidate to, put some of this together, take the behavioral component, take the cognitive assessment, and put together some sort of video cover letter, summary, something that helps us better determine some of the things we spoke about earlier, and help us determine next steps. So at this point, I hope to get all this out in the coming days. As things start coming back, I'm hoping to start interviewing probably the week of January 16th. This position's been open for about a year, but we really just posted it this week because I wanted to take the year to really, after my prior billing ops manager left, I wanted to take the year to really work with my team and decide what our organization needs. And I feel like now more than at any time, I have a better idea of that. So appreciate all of your time and communication, and look forward to being in touch. Thank you so much.